Hello folks, Johnny here. Welcome back to Wartree Ironworks and the latest episode of Blacksmiths of History. Today we have a blacksmith who is kind of a local legend as far as the Pacific Northwest is concerned, as he is considered the founder of Prineville, Oregon, which is a few hours south of where I live, so this one was kind of an exciting one to put together for all you guys and gals. But before we get started, I would like to ask that if you are new to the channel, please take a moment to pause the video and smash the subscribe and like buttons. Alright, let's get started. On the Oregon Trail in 1853, Francis and Alice Prine started their journey for a new life in the western territories of the United States with their son, the American pioneer and blacksmith, Francis Barnett Prine. But he is famously known as Barney Prine. At the age of 12, drove one of his family's wagons and took turns standing guard at night, presumably to pick off any predators that were around and to keep an eye out for hostiles along the prairie-rich and mountainous trail laid by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark 47 years prior in 1806. Or was that Edwards and Hunt? The family would arrive in Oregon's Willamette Valley in Linn County, where they would establish a farm outside the town of Scio. Barney would attend school nearby, and according to Wikipedia, he made spending money winning foot races against the other boys. 9 years after the Prine family settled in Central Oregon, in 1862 near Florence, a city on the Oregon coast, in Lane County, Barney had taken up a mining claim which was productive but not very successful due to poor spending habits. It is reported that he would spend up to $1,000 in gold a day on gambling and drinks with his friends. It's also said that he spent every cent that he made from mining gold, at least up until 1864 when Prine enlisted in the United States Army to serve in the 1st Oregon Volunteer Infantry Regiment to support the Union during the American Civil War. And during Prine's service, he was promoted to corporal under the command of a captain by the name of Ebner W. Waters. Prine was seen to be an outstanding soldier, and once more, according to Wikipedia, in addition, he regularly won money from fellow soldiers in foot races, which he never lost. But in July of 1866, the company commanded by Captain Waters was disbanded. Barney was released from service the next year, and he moved back to Linn County in the Willamette Valley, where he then married a woman named Elizabeth Sylvester. But eventually, Linn County became too populated for Barney and Elizabeth, so they moved east to the other side of the Cascade Mountain Range in 1868, where Prine would make a squatter's claim on a piece of land along the Crooked River. They had built a simple cabin from juniper and willow timber from the surrounding area. Not long after, Barney erected a blacksmithing shop along with a small store. He also would make trips to the Dalles, that was along the Columbia River, to fill his store with goods and supplies, and he would also salvage iron for his smithy from wagons that had been left by their former owners. Barney had quite the entrepreneurial mindset, because later on, after getting themselves established at their homestead, the Prines had built stables for horses, and Barney even carved out a horse racing track along the Crooked River so he could sponsor the races to boost alcohol sales in the saloon they also had built. Later on, about 3 years after settling in the area in 1871, it's mentioned that Central Oregon was right in the middle of the Wild West of the frontier. So crime was high, theft was common, and lynching was really the only solution. There were no laws to try to prevent anything like that at the time. So once again, the Prines decided it was time for a change of scenery, and Barney sold his business and property to Monroe Hodges shortly after establishing the Prine Post Office, which Hodges changed the name of the post office to Prineville. He then platted the site, and the area would become an incorporated township on October 23rd of 1880. Hey folks, I want to take a moment to say, if you are enjoying this series or are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that like button as well as the notification bell. If you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. It will help me out on the channel and I will greatly appreciate it. Now back to our story. After selling his property and businesses, Barney and his family resettled in northeast Oregon. Shortly thereafter, he became town marshal and established a new blacksmithing shop. Then in the mid-1890s, he once again took up prospecting in uninhabited parts of eastern Oregon and explored the areas of what is now eastern Washington State, northern Idaho, and even ventured as far as southern British Columbia in Canada. Though Prine was all over the place in the Pacific Northwest, eventually in 1899 or 1900, he retired from prospecting and settled down for the final time in a small town of La Poille in the panhandle of northern Idaho. He opened another blacksmithing shop that he kept in business for about a score until his passing on March 17, 1919. The legacy of Barney Prine is still around today, as he is considered to be the founder of the city of Prineville, Oregon, which still holds the county seat of Crook County. Today, Prineville is home to 10,736 people, according to the 2020 census, with a total area of 11 square miles, and it sits on the mouth of the Ochoco Creek on the Crooked River. I am afraid, my friends, that is all we have for today. But before we end today's episode, a fun fact. The company, Les Schwab Tire Centers, was founded out of Prineville in 1952. So, you know who to be thankful for when you get good tires? You can thank Barney Prine. No Barney Prine, no Prineville, no Les Schwab Tire Centers. Thank you all for watching. It was my pleasure to bring you this episode of Blacksmiths of History. If you like this video, please leave your thoughts or suggestions for future episodes down in the comments below. You all have a nice day, and remember to make it a good one.
Oh, God. Today we have Jim from the Crazy Viking Forge. How are you doing today?